Hi, I'm Tyler, and welcome to another episode of my Christian Music Week reviews. Each week I take 5 releases, albums, EPs, or singles, and after I've listened to them all week, I come back here and I review them. I share what I think about them. So without further ado, let's get to this week's first release, Jeremy Camp's new single, When You Speak. Jeremy Camp's new single, When You Speak, the first single from his upcoming album that's going to come out September 10th. Let's dive into it. So stylistically here, definitely a pop song for sure. Instrumentally, we have acoustic guitar, synth, bass guitar, bass, and drum. And as for the lyrics here, really good lyrics here. Talks about when God speaks his word of peace, fears lies drown out. Fears lies drown. Up next, Cody Carnes' new single featuring Brandon Lake, Too Good to Not Believe. Cody Carnes' new single featuring Brandon Lake of Buffalo Music, Too Good to Not Believe, and I guess I did not notice that this was originally released, I didn't realize this, that this was originally released as a Buffalo Music track, and then Cody Carnes and Brandon Lake released their version. So, wasn't as original of a single as I thought coming from Cody, but anyhow, pretty good version here, and considering I like Buffalo, I guess I'll have to go back and listen to the other version now. Definitely a worship style here. Instrumental here, piano, acoustic guitar, drum, and electric guitar towards the later part of the song. And as for the lyrics here, talks about how God's miracles that they've seen are too good to not believe. He's the wonder-working God. Don't say that God can't do it. Up next, Indie Tribe's new album, Upper Hand. Indie Tribe's new album, Upper Hand. Let's dive into it. So, stylistically here, definitely a hip-hop release for sure. We have rapping, and some singing. A lot of that singing comes from, a lot of Mowgli the Iceberg parts seem to be more singing based on here. Also, that's where a lot of the bass guitar comes in too. Instrumentally overall though, synth, piano, bass, and drum. And as for the lyrics here, well, before I dive into the lyrics, let me give you a little bit of a backstory about Indie Tribe and what they've been through over the last year. So, last year, What Up RG and Jerry Mana left Indie Tribe, leaving just No Big Deal and Mowgli the Iceberg, and leaving many to question if Indie Tribe was going to continue on, it sounded like. Indeed, when I reviewed the first single for this album, the first single, Outside, I thought it was just No Big Deal and Mowgli the Iceberg, but they kept the tribe alive by adding John Keefe and DJ Mike Kelby. And lyrically, and this is why I kind of wanted to give the backstory when I was talking about the lyrics, because the lyrics kind of seem to reflect that. Talks about how even when the attacks came, even when people kind of left them for dead, so to speak, God gives us the strength to keep, gave them the strength to keep going to fulfill his mission for them. Up next, former 10th Avenue North lead singer Mike Donehey's new single and first radio single as a solo artist, All Together. Mike Donehey's new single, All Together, his first post 10th Avenue North radio single. Let's dive into it. So this is not the first solo song though from Mike Donehey. He dropped 2 soul EPs earlier this year, Work of Art and then Father and Two Sons, both of which I reviewed on this channel, and you can go back and check out because both were pretty good EPs, so hope you go back and check out those EPs out as well. And this is yet another good soul song from Mike Donehey. Stylistically here, acoustic guitar, piano, drum, synth, and electric guitar. And as for the lyrics here, really good lyrics too. Here too, talks about how we don't have to pretend to have it all together. Grace has made it safe to tell each other our secrets. We need to be a shelter for each other. Up next, our last release for today, Future of Forestry's new album, Remember. Future of Forestry's new album, Remember. Let's dive into it. So, pretty good album here. Stylistically here, definitely an alternative feel with some alternative rock influence and strong pop rock influence on the track now. Instrumentally here, acoustic guitar and electric guitar. Acoustic guitar, bass guitar, and then electric guitar appears later on in the album. Drum, piano, violin, and some synth and flute influence as well. And as for the lyrics here, pretty good lyrics too. Talked about how when your world falls into the unknown, God hears you. God's listening to your heart. He is with you. He will give you strength. Also talks about how what you choose each day makes you who you are, and how important it is to remember who you are and and embrace the freedom to be who you are. Well, that's it for this week. Come back next week for 5 more releases. If you like what you saw in this video, please subscribe. Also, if you have any, I drop videos every week. I upload videos every week, Friday at 9:30 a.m. Pacific time. Also, if you have any thoughts on what I said about today's releases, or on the releases themselves, or anything that came out today that you want to see in next week's video, let me know that in the comments below. Also, new month, June, meaning new Music Muffin Streams playlist. Came out on the first day of June on Tuesday, and this month's playlist features songs that I've been listening to in the past month from artists like Falling Up, We Are Messengers, Drew Bex, Camman, and K-Sade. So go and check that out if you want my hits from May. Well, I'll go now. See you next week. Bye!